Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tales and Myth and Mayhem. And we are playing Fallout. It never fucking changes. Happy New Year. We've been gone for a while. That wasn't entirely planned, but here we are anyway. And joining us, as always, is our players. Hello, players.
Hello,
Hello,
players.
overseer.
Hello, overseer.
I didn't say the thing. I tripped you all up. Haha. So let's do a brief rundown of what has been going on. Because we sort of hit a bit in the game where it's a bit of a game, a bit of turning points and plot dumps and stuff. So let's recap right from the top very briefly how our players got to where they are standing right now, which is in a car park outside of a former factory in the post-apocalypse, surrounded by people with lots of guns. So, most of our players come from a town of Edinburgh that they established themselves thanks to procuring a Garden of Eden creation kit that they managed to get a hold of during the battle for Diamond City that took place 1 year ago. Now, this town was going gangbusters up until their fabricator broke down, and they need to find an S742 U-board, known as the God board, to replace it. Otherwise, the utilities in this town will start to break down, and people may start to die, which is bad. That's a bad thing. Now, when they left on their journey, they went to the town of Quincy. They met up with a former member of the Sisterhood of Pain, known as Stupid Jim, who helped them to address the situation in Quincy, which was a bunch of gunners were trying to force out the residents and take over a power station. Our intrepid heroes here, they managed to persuade the townspeople to leave, and I gave them and gave them a home in Edinburgh, whilst blowing up the power plant on their way out of town to make sure that the gunners who were working for the Institute could not utilize it. They entered into the Boston City area, known as the Commonwealth. They learned through various challenges that there is a brewing civil war going on between Montefonto Towers and the good people of Good Neighbor. And they were kind of shanghaied into it by Betsy, the leader of Montefonto Towers, who is mourning the death of the former leader and her lover, Monderosa Jones. She told them they have 24 hours to infiltrate Good Neighbor and report on troop numbers, combat strength, and other intelligence. Our group decided, instead of doing that, they were going to go to a General Atomics factory where they had a tip-off that there could be a God board there. They encountered some Institute who had enslaved some people from Diamond City, and they were stripping the place down for parts. They freed these people and learned via a very heavily burned up former member of the Brotherhood of Steel that the Institute are actually fighting to protect the people of the Commonwealth in their own twisted, fucked up way from a bunch of robots up north who are causing some shit and have taken over the Brotherhood of Steel and intend on turning everyone in the wasteland into cyborg freaks. So the situation is a lot more complicated than it first appeared. They then went to Good Neighbor and learned that the people of Good Neighbor did not in fact kill Monderosa Jones. As a group, it was rather one woman called Janine who was taking personal revenge, as Monderosa Jones had killed her father years before. So, the group decided to spring Janine from Good Neighbor, and John Hancock went along with them, hoping that if they presented Janine to Betsy and the people of Montefonto Towers, they could stop the war and concentrate on fighting the Institute, or whatever the hell's going on up north. As we left last time, one sec. Yeah. As we left them last time, John Hancock was in the middle of telling the group something very, very important. And let's jump back into where we left off. So, you're standing there, and John Hancock just says, just after the battle for Diamond City, about a little less than a year ago, Monderosa sent me a message. He told me to meet him at the Boston Public Library. He said to come alone. Of course I didn't, because I'm not stupid. But of course he didn't come alone either. We went to one side inside the library, and he told me that he told me that the entire of Montefonto Towers and Good Neighbor and Diamond City would have been destroyed. And part of the reason why was because we had no real lines of communication. We were very strongly independent. Too independent. Too at odds. And we needed to form some kind of system where we could come together if needed. I suggested we form some kind of government. But not like bullshit from the pre-war, none of that. A system where no one group could... just wait a sec, Tim. Yeah. We needed a system where not one settlement was going to get power over another. We needed the people to have a say in it, an actual say. Direct democracy is what we wanted and what we agreed on. So for several months, we would meet at the Boston Public Library and we would make these plans. At that point, Betsy cuts in, and she has a very thick Boston accent, which I'm not going to attempt to do again because that's just going to offend everyone who has even been to Boston at any point. She just says, hang on, this is clearly bullshit. This is clearly nonsense. Monderosa was fiercely protective of Montefonto's independence. He would never ever come up with this idea to form a fucking government. John Hancock says, and that's why he kept this. That's why I didn't tell anyone, and why I didn't tell anyone. Because our people want the same thing. They want freedom, right? If we came to them with the word government in our mouths, they would have left. We had to make sure this was perfect. We worked on it for months whenever we could. I can only imagine that was one of the reasons why he came to see me in person. After we blew up the bridges. Betsy looks like she's about to say something, but then Frank Sullivan, her number one, says, Betsy, can I have a word with you for a sec? And he takes Betsy off to the side for a minute.
Well,
Freddie,
he takes...
Oh, sorry, Freddie, very quickly. Could you do a perception survival check? Difficulty 1.
Yes, I can. Perception survival, you said?
Yes.
All right.
You succeed, you can bank some action points if you need to. I haven't checked that yet. Yeah. You're now 7 out of 7 on action points. You've noticed that Mikey J is gone. Mikey J is no longer with you. So yeah, what would you like to do?
I would like to figure out when he may have left. When was the last time I recall seeing him?
He was with you on the road here, for sure. He was with Tumu. He must have gone somewhere after you arrived at the factory car park, but you can't tell exactly when he stopped being with you.
He's going to look around a little concerned. He's going to go to Tumu and check Tumu over. Make sure nothing seems to be missing.
Okay, this would take you a couple of minutes, but initially at first it doesn't look like Tumu has been messed with. It doesn't look like anything's missing.
He's going to he's going to do something. He's going to unlock the case that contains the mini-nukes.
Okay, you do so, and the mini-nukes are still there.
He's going to, just to everybody else around, he's going to be putting on a show of playing in the, well, it's going to appear like he's going to be playing with the nukes. Looks like he's in the box if any of the rest of them other than our crew is watching. And then he'll close it up and start playing with his pit boy and continue with what you were going to do from there. That's the setup for something that may need to happen.
Okay, everybody else, is there anything you'd like to do? Janine and Frank are still just talking a little away out of earshot.
Betsy and Frank.
I'm sorry?
Betsy and Frank.
Yes.
Janine.
Betsy and Frank. Oh yeah.
While I will mention to Olivia, have you seen Mikey?
Well, he's just.
She would be right there.
He's just. Wait. He might have just gone off to take a piss or something. Like, I don't know. I thought he was with us. I thought he was with Tumu.
Yeah, and when I turned around, he's not here anymore. And I'm... I don't think we ever checked him, did we?
Checked him? What do you mean checked him? I thought you knew him.
I'm referring back to good... No, confusing games. It's not good mead. Good neighbor.
You mean if he was a synth?
I don't think we've checked any looks at the rest of you either.
Didn't we check everyone?
I can't recall. But no, they were left out with the vehicle. The truck, which is the truck there by chance.
The truck is still there.
Okay.
You have the truck. The truck is currently still parked outside Good Neighbor. Because you approached here on foot. So at that point,
will... Frank, have you seen... We're missing one of our guys. You guys take him?
Frank just says, what? What do you mean you're missing one of your guys?
Literally gone. The guy in the armor.
Not sure that was the right thing to say.
Nope. I asked him outright. Let him be nervous too.
What do you mean one of your guys is missing? We haven't taken any of your guys. If that's what you're implying.
Okay. Yes, that was what I was implying. And if you say no, okay, then...
No, we didn't take one of your guys. Why would we take one of your guys?
You might want to have your people start watching outside, not inside here. Seeing what's out around us. We might not be alone here.
Bessie just says, all right, spread out. And the goons nod and start spreading out a bit more all around. And watching on the outside. No, you did a pretty good check on that. Like, it would take somebody with a pretty high-powered rifle to be able to access here from the nearest buildings, because it's kind of a little out of the way. Sort of off a highway, down a road, sort of away from the buildings. Like, behind you, you can see, like, the remnants of tall buildings, but it would need to be a very high-powered rifle for anyone to access you from here. You got from your last check.
Other than if you wanted to climb up on one of the buildings and look out, that would be the other option.
Basically just says, look, we can deal with your missing guy later, okay? But look, these are all of the people we have. We haven't taken your guy. And we kind of got bigger fish to fry right now.
Yeah.
While they're looking for Michael, Jade is going to just check in with Janine, like, are you okay?
I don't know. I might be about to die, right? That might be what happens next.
Not if I can do anything to stop it, but she just got, like, some new information that was probably against what she had thought. So.
John Hancock just looks at you and just says, just be cool. Please be cool. After a couple more seconds of Betsy looking at Frank with a look of slight disbelief, she turns around and says, all right, I can buy that you didn't want to kill Monderosa, that wasn't good neighbor, that this was her and her alone. I can't buy that I cannot buy that this is something that Monderosa was planning to do. At no point did he tell me, and he would have told me. But I can't help but John, you came here alone, essentially, with a bunch of strangers, trying to find peace. So I'm going to give you one shot. Do you have any evidence to prove your story? John says, there's the stuff that we left at the Boston Public Library. We wrote a constitution. And that's something we both wrote and signed. Bessie just says, I don't know, that's not going to be good enough. You could have just planted that there. And John just says, when would I have planted it there? I didn't know I was going to meet you today. I didn't know any of this was going to happen until these people that you sent in showed up. When would I have had any time to make this wonderful plan? Betsy looks to Frank. Frank nods his head. Betsy says, all right. If he signed it, this document would prove your story.
Can I propose something? And I'm looking at John and said, you said that you had some guys with you, but Monofonto had some guys with him too, right?
Yeah, but we didn't tell them what we were talking about. He wanted to keep this away from his own people and my people, because he knew just as well as I did that if either of us mentioned the word government, then our leadership would have been ended there and there. Then and there.
But you will still have people in both settlements that know that you have been meeting at the library that can...
No, that was the only time we took people, was that first time. Nobody else knew about this.
I'm getting kind of bored with your negotiations, guys. We just go back to good neighbor and we hook them to the machine. Just like we got Genie's man.
Hook who to the machine?
You.
Alright, that's the way to
Feed your
go.
memories. And while we're at it, we came here also to pick up some stuff inside to confirm and to look at, I believe, I can't remember the doctor's name, but she needed some more android DNA or genetics or whatever she called it. Still learning the words from this big science book.
Bessie stepped forward and says, I've got a better idea. You go to the Boston Public Library, get that Constitution.
How about I got a better idea? And he's playing with his Pip-Boy and shows her, and it shows his heartbeat. I've hooked this up to the nukes in my box, and I don't want to negotiate your way anymore.
Okay. At that point, all the Monofonto goons point their guns at your head. Frank and Betsy take a step back. John Hancock looks at you and says, what the fuck are you doing?
If you shoot me, we all die. There's 5 mini-nukes in there. How about we all go back to you too, Betsy? Come along. I want to see if you're one of these synths too. We all go have a little powwow and check memories, check everything. Done negotiating politely.
Okay. This is going to need a speech charisma check. DC 3.
Oh yeah, and he also has several rerolls.
We talked about that if it was possible, we actually wanted to test Monofonto to the dead body at least.
4 successes without anything.
Yeah.
Just to confirm out of character, Freddie is bullshitting right here, isn't he?
Well, I don't think you know that. I don't know if you would know
I'm
that.
honestly worried.
You can try and roll to work it out. This would be a perception. I think you're perceiving speech from Freddie, and you kind of know him, so this is going to be pretty easy. This is going to be a difficulty 1. Perception speech, difficulty 1.
One success.
Okay. Well, Freddie, Yeah, I mean, Freddie, could you confirm if you are lying or not? I think you are lying.
Freddie is lying through his teeth.
Yeah, so
but he can back it up with a more story if you need him to.
Vincent, you absolutely believe that Freddie is going to blow up everyone if this goes wrong. Augusta, you've known Freddie a bit longer, so you understand that this is a bluff, a very good bluff, but you understand that you are probably safe.
Yes, Chatsy, it's just 4 nukes, it's not 5.
Betsy at that point just looks horrified. John Hancock looks horrified. Frank just says, All right. We'll go to Good Neighbor and do whatever the hell it is you're talking about.
I don't really know what it is either, but we got her memories that you got to see. I'm assuming we can get his.
All right.
Also, she has a way to determine who is a synth. And that will make us all a lot more honest, less afraid, suspicious. Use the term you like.
Okay.
We still need that synth sample from the Gen 3 so she can work out, hopefully, a travel version.
Yeah. Just so
And
you're
you
aware.
wouldn't by chance have something of Frank's with you, genetic-wise?
What do you mean? You want my... What are you're asking for?
Not Frank. Sorry. What's
Monderosa Jones.
Monderosa.
Yeah.
You wouldn't happen to have anything of Monderosa's with you, hair sample or fingernail or something.
Okay, I'll put this down to it's been like a month since we played, so I'll just tell you this one for free. The memory den requires a brain to function. It is a thing.
Oh, I was just for the DNA test.
Oh, yeah,
check
that
if
can
the
be
blood
pretty much
sample.
anything. Yeah.
Because I'm curious if maybe Monderosa might have been a synth too. All the suspicions are here.
We all
Bring it
are
all.
very curious about that.
Betsy starts shouting, Monderosa was no fucking synth. He was no synth.
I hope he wasn't, but like I said, we got a test to make sure none of us are, so we can negotiate freely.
So just so I've got this clear, Betsy says, you want us to go and collect a genetic sample from Monderosa Jones's body, then
If
go to
you
Good
have-
Neighbor and test it to see if it's a synth, whilst also scanning John's memories.
We don't need to go back to get the sample. I asked if you had one, just so we could hurry it
No,
along.
I don't carry a sample of my
Some people
dead
carry
lover's
a
flesh
hair-
with me.
Well, I meant hair or some other sample. Some people do that. At least I've been told.
Okay, no, I don't carry a sample of my dead lover's DNA.
Okay. Well, then I think we should all at least go and take care of all of us here. And if John is lying, we kill him and you get to lead both of them. How about that?
Betsy just says, all right, let's go, I guess.
We need to collect the sample inside first, so.
Okay, who's going inside to collect the sample?
I can do that.
I really shouldn't wander too far from Tumu anymore because that'll detonate the nukes too.
Okay, Jade, you walk into the atomics factory and you go up the stairs, and in the hallway you see the body of... Oh, it was...
There should have been a Gen 3 there.
Yeah, you see the body of XPN20A is still there. What would you like to do?
Well, whatever works. I guess a hand would do the trick.
Yeah, I'll give this one for you to do for free because it's been a month since we played. The memory Dan requires a brain. The testing for synth requires any genetic matter. So, you know.
Oh, could we actually take the brain, even the brain, if the brain is dead?
That is a thing that Vincent suggested ages ago in the chat that may have been forgotten, which is why I mentioned it, because like it was an idea that was had before we took an extended break, and it didn't feel fair to just let that be lost to memory, because that was a good idea. So yeah. If you want to take the head, you're basically going to cut off a head. That's going to be a medicine agility check. You need to be fairly...
I'm just taking the whole thing on my back.
Oh, you're going to take the whole body?
Yeah.
We could get another plant pot, another head in the plant pot. That'd be fun.
I still need to have a look at Harold.
Yeah. All right, so you pick up the body fairly easily over your shoulder, and you return to the outside car park where Betsy just says, "What the? Where did that? I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. Let's just go. Let's just go."
Oh, don't worry, he was already dead.
Well, that I'm totally assured now. I am absolutely totally assured by everything about the situation now. Thank you, Dr. Mutant.
He's cold, you can feel it yourself.
Freddie,
I mean, it is some hours ago since we were there, right?
Freddie,
Carl, can you look around to see if you can find out where Mikey might have wandered off to? You're better at tracking. Well, you'd think we would see him. I mean, it's like we didn't even notice this. That's what bothers me. We didn't notice, all of us.
Apparently, chat aren't hearing Carl. We're not hearing Carl. Are you muted, Carl?
We could hear him.
on my end, he got a little bit double talky for a little bit there.
Ooh.
But nobody else
hear him,
did.
but chat can't.
That is
Or
weird.
viewers can't.
Carl, can you say a random word, and if chat can see it, they can type it? Okay.
That's got to be my end then, but I think... Let me just change the media device again.
Let's turn up the stream so I can hear it.
Where did I put the... Yeah. Okay, Vincent, can you say things?
Things?
Yeah, you're coming through on my end.
Oh, I heard it on the stream there.
I have no explanation for that. Because all I did was reconnect the virtual cable piping in Vincent again. And whatever, that seems to have fixed it. I have no idea what that was, but let's move on.
Okay.
Before we do, Freddie, I love your ability to seemingly manage to annoy everyone. At this point, everyone hates you. John, Betsy, Frank, the Monofonto goons, they all give you glares. Variously, they can see from Vincent's face that maybe he's not entirely involved with this because Vincent, you have not necessarily, because Carl, you have not necessarily been the best at hiding the fact that you think this is real.
Yep.
But mostly they kind of hate you now. So that's that. Let me set up the next bit as you wander back in mostly silence.
He smiles, absorbing the aura. So.
I'm starting to believe that Freddie is enjoying chaos.
Freddie, just out of interest, all this time when you've been going around doing stuff on the business of Edinburgh, have you been doing it like this?
No, usually it's been normal. Things got weird since the last time.
Okay, that's reassuring.
I mean,
I really don't like negotiating like this. It would have been simpler to just let us go on our way and find our board.
I mean, do you remember what he did in Quincy?
I didn't do anything in Quincy.
I mean, yeah, I'm not denying that there was some degree of an intractable problem there, and it's not less tractable now, I guess, but we did solve the issue, the immediate problem, and the people all lived, which wouldn't have happened if that town had been attacked, but people are very sensitive to threats about nuclear explosions.
Well, and he's not saying, he starts, if you guys are having the conversation kind of here, he's not going to say it so quietly. I was actually planning on taking this all into Silver City and paying him back for Margaret.
Oh, I see. That, I understand.
But now it's not worth it if it's done by the synths, not the same people.
Well, there goes all my plans for this session. Right in the bin. Right, so you get to outside of Good Neighbor. It is now dark. It is pretty late in the day. It is around 9 o'clock in the evening.
Before we go too much further, did Carl find anything about
that's
Mikey?
right, yeah.
Yes, I need to make a roll for that.
Yeah, give me a survival perception check. Difficulty 2.
I don't think I've rolled survival with its core stat once since we started playing.
Well, this is you're checking for tracks. You're checking for signs.
Yes,
you nailed
but
it.
it's just amusing. One success.
Oh, it says you got 2 on my end,
Oh, sorry. Yes, two
which
successes.
is just enough. Okay, before you leave, you notice some tracks. You follow them for a while, and you see and you find the power armor. At some point, Mikey J started to move away, and then left the power armor. With that tech check, you don't see any signs of a struggle. And once he leaves the power armor, you don't really see any other tracks going anywhere.
I will mark the location on my Pip-Boy. And what directions could he have gone? Is it like any alleys he could have gone down, or is it like a main street?
Not
What does it
really.
look like there?
With the location of the General Atomics factory, it is sort of off a main road in its own, like, industrial area. Where you found the power armor was leading towards the sort of the highway, the road you came in on. So, and in front of you is the rest of Boston, the rest of the city area. So there's not really any signs of any direction where he could have gone. The only thing you're pretty sure of is that he didn't double back, because the only place he could have gone then would have been back to where you were, or the General Atomics factory. He could have done that and could be hiding in the General Atomics factory, maybe, but by the looks of it, he probably went off in the other direction, somewhere in Boston.
All right. I will get into the power armor and walk it back.
All right. As you do so,
Hey, Mikey, where you been?
Oh, it's me, Carl. Mikey was nowhere around.
Really? Was there a struggle or a fight or anything or something?
Nope. Just this abandoned power armor. No tracks leading away. Not far from where you could get up on the main highway. So he may have gone up there and taken off. He may have gone deeper into Boston by ground. I don't know. If he was a synth, he just decided not to take the armor with him back to synth land.
Remember, Generation 3 synths can
Teleport.
Teleport.
So there might not have been new.
A question to the GM. Was the power armor opened or closed when I found it?
you found it open.
Well, if he did teleport away, then he climbed out of the armor first. It was open when I found it.
Or a synth could have teleported in and taken him.
Possible. I don't know really anything about teleportation technology.
Forced him out. But yeah.
Either way, he's gone. I don't expect to see him again unless he is a synth and we run into him in a fight.
Yeah, but he's traveled with us all this way. He knows what we're after, too.
Mm-hmm.
If he is. I'm hoping he's had to use the bathroom and got lost. He had to get out of the suit.
Or running away scared. That works too.
But you would think you of all people would be able to track.
Yeah. Well, it was hard pavement in the area, and once you're out of the power arm, you don't really make much mark on pavement.
Well, what do we discussed this on the trip back to Good Neighbor, and what do we find when we get there, Overseer?
Yeah, so you approach
a desolate wasteland.
No, Good Neighbor appears to still be there. You've not been gone that long. You've been gone for like maybe an hour at this point. So you return, and floodlight comes up. And the voice on a megaphone says, "Who are you?" John Hancock says, "It's me. Under duress. Give us entrance." There's a bit of silence, and then the voice on the megaphone says, "What does under duress mean?" John Hancock just does this. Oh, for fuck. Oh. Just open up, let us in, and keep your distance, alright? You gain entrance and you walk down the street. It's late at night, not a lot of people are around. John Hancock's man in tuxedo and trilby looks very confused as the leader of Monofonto Towers, their enemy, walks in with you and all of her people, and he just looks at John Hancock with a face that vaguely communicates, "What? The what?" John Hancock just nods to him, and you make your way to the memory den. You make your way down, and Dr. Amari is unconscious on her desk. You find empty bottles from the third rail bar. She's had a bit to drink. What would you like to do?
Can Timu fit down there? Tumu.
I sort of assumed that Tumu was being left outside.
Yeah, I will not go far from him because of the nukes, so I will stay up above.
Okay.
I
Everyone
let the rest handle the hard stuff. I did the easy stuff and got him here.
All right, you wait outside. Everyone is broadly aware in the group that the mini-nukes could still destroy everyone, so they still feel relatively under threat and kind of hateful about the situation. Betsy just turns around to the people who did make it downstairs and says, "All right, hook him up." John says, "Wait, we need to get Dr. Amari. Let me 1 second. Hey."
Jade, is there anything you can do to help, like get her in a state where she can do anything useful?
I mean, was she asleep or drunk?
You don't even need to do a medical check for this. She is very drunk and quite asleep.
Well, do we have something that can wake her up? I don't think water will be enough if she's drunk out of her mind. I could try, but just some water.
What?
Slap her a bit.
What are you going to do? You going to pour water on her? Slap her?
I mean, I guess it's a form of poisoning. Maybe some of the healing items might work.
Yeah. I mean, I can try and... Jade will probably try and shake her awake first.
A mutant doing that? That's terrifying.
All right.
You know him.
So you're going to do the shake.
Slightly. Like, what were taught in, like, first aid?
Okay. This will take a medicine check, because you mentioned first aid as part of your response. So this is going to be a medicine... strength check, but it's a strength check to see that you're not too strong. So that's the danger, that you are too strong. The difficulty is going to be a 1. So strength medicine check on waking up the good doctor, 1 difficulty. Oh yeah, massive success. You shake her. Just gentle enough not to cause any damage, but forceful enough that she just comes around as like, Damien, what? She looks around. It takes her a couple of seconds to sort of process what's going on here. She just says, why are you here with them? What's going on?
We need the memory machine thing. Do you need anything to sober up, or are you efficient enough without?
I'm a professional. I'm a professional. Don't
That was not
question
my
my
question.
professionalism. I'm a
That was
professional.
not my question.
How dare you question my professionalism and who are we hooking up? Whose brain is we doing?
Do we have anything?
John Hancock says, "You're doing me."
Jade, a quick suggestion. You might want to volunteer to do the things under instruction rather than letting her do them.
But I like out of character. Do we have anything in our gears that can actually sober her up?
Tumu with all of your stuff is currently upstairs. You would only have on you there what is in your inventories unless someone goes up and gets something off Tumu. To save time, there is the sheet that has everything that's got Tumu, everything that's on Tumu.
Is it true that Brahmin milk has tremendous healing properties against alcohol?
If nothing else, well, sorry, I'm not there.
I mean, I'm just looking through your inventory on Tumu.
I mean, if Brahmin milk can do it.
I don't think Brahmin milk can do it. Brahmin milk can restore hit points, but I don't think Brahmin milk is something that can do that. There's one very specific item that can in the Fallout game that I am very aware of, but I don't think you have it.
Would Jade know what it is? Could Jade send someone after it?
I mean, if we don't have it, and if Jade knows that, then there's no reason to.
The only thing you have on you on Tumu that could even remotely do it is you've got one psycho. A psycho would sober her up, but it would probably also send her too far the other way. Because it's psycho, it's like, that's one thing that would absolutely stop her being drunk, but would probably make her.
We can just make her be actually sick. That might. Oh, I don't know if I want to think about this just now. But
the doctor just says,
Let's
"You
not
don't need
use
to
the
make me
psycho."
sick. I'm a professional.
Sorry, Carl?
I'm a fucking professional."
I missed what you said, Carl. What was?
Yeah, sorry, I went a bit too far with playing Dr. Amari drunk then. Did you say something, Vincent?
You're muted.
Yeah, I just said, as a parenthesis out of character, let's not use the psycho.
No, definitely not. Well, yeah. Let's
It's alright, I know what I'm doing. I am a professional.
Let's just drink some water at least, please. Just.
Alright, fine. She goes
Thank
off,
you.
comes back with a bottle of purified water, and begins hooking up John Hancock to the memory pod. It opens. There is hissing and various machinery clunking away. He sits inside. She places a bunch of electrodes on his head and just says to him, "What are we looking for? Because I know that you get up to some pretty freaky deaky stuff. And how much freaky deaky we gotta look through to get through to what we want?" And he says, go back about 10 months. Me in Boston Public Library one night. She says, "Okay, see what we can do." The pod closes. The chair leans back. John Hancock's eyes roll up and then close, and on the monitor, immediately what starts playing is a first-person perspective of an orgy taking place in his in the what's the name of the building? I have the name of it. Yeah, in the State House, and Dr. Amari sits at her computer and says, "All right, let's go." And he's pressing on the button. I'm pressing on the keyboard, a bunch of keys, and a series of similar-looking appearances flash up on the screen and start playing back. You see very quickly John Hancock is there snorting something and then shoving his face into someone's crotch. Cuts back even more to another point where he's there drinking a lot and setting fire to one of his people, and everyone laughs. And he just keeps going back through various debauchery things until, finally, after way too long, I'd say 10 minutes of watching John Hancock's entire sexual history, it starts playing a memory from inside the Boston Public Library, which goes as follows. So Monderosa Jones is there, and he takes a drink and says... Takes a drink from a glass. There is a bottle of Rotgut rum on the table in between John Hancock and Monderosa Jones, and Monderosa says, We almost died that day. Nobody talks about that, but it's true. The battle for Diamond City could have taken out everything. If the Sisterhood of Pain unleashed the Gek, or if that fucking old Tallman or whatever his name is and his pals set it off, we would have all been killed. John Hancock says, Yeah, got close. That's pretty bad. Monderosa Jones says, Look, we both work towards an idea of freedom. We have different ideas of what that should be, but we believe very strongly that people need to be able to do what they do without interference. But at the same time, we can't go it alone anymore. We can't. We're not going to make it. This won't be the last time something like this happens around here. John Hancock says, Well, we made it through this time. Monderosa Jones says, But we almost didn't. And whatever saved us... Whatever saved us, we don't even know what that was. And we don't know if it's going to happen again. Look, I'm taking a massive risk here. You could end everything I'm building in Monofonto just by me saying this. I think we need to bring back the Commonwealth provincial government. At that point, John Hancock stands up and says, You gotta be kidding. You want to do that? You want to bring that in? You? Monderosa says, Not like how they wanted to do it, alright? Not like how they wanted to build it on what was before the bombs fell. Whatever they had going on before the bombs fell clearly didn't work out well for anyone. We've got to make our own thing. And it goes on as such. It gets hazier as the memory goes on because more of that bottle of rot gut is drank. The hazier the memories get, and you cut to different parts of the conversation. But over time, it absolutely confirms the story John Hancock has been saying. So yeah, what would you like to do?
I mean, really, it's on Betsy most right now because she was one we needed to persuade from the beginning.
Yeah, Betsy has been watching and is now staring into the middle distance. She hasn't said anything. I think the word would be her and her people are kind of stunned. Janine has been placed down into a chair. Handcuffs have been attached to her ankles. So she's just sat in a chair, pretty much immobile, watching. Yeah, everyone's just a bit stunned by the revelation because this goes against everything that Good Neighbor and Monofonto was supposed to be about. So yeah, what would you like to do?
I understand this is a lot to take in right now, but do you see why we have to try and fix things and make it so that you can all work with each other rather than having a war that's just going to kill loads of people for no reason?
Betsy just says, I'm going to need a minute. I'm going to need a whole bunch of minutes. Could you tell your pal to ease off on the whole mini-nuke explosion thing? We're not going to do
I'll have a
anything.
word.
I just
I'll
want to
have a
go and
word.
find somewhere to drink and talk with my people.
Can we guarantee they'll be safe here?
That should be for Hancock too.
Hancock is currently still in the machine. At this point, the memory, the memory being shown on the screen, is now a memory of him and Monderosa Jones working on a constitution. It's very hazy because a lot has been drunk. But yeah.
Best way to write a constitution.
Sorry?
Best way to write a constitution is when both people are hazy with drunk.
Yeah. But yeah, he's still currently trapped in the machine. If you want to get him out. Do you want to get him out?
Can you search for like specific memories? Does she have to know when, or can you like search word?
Keyword search isn't a thing. Oh wait, I should do this as Dr. Amari. Yeah, it's not really. That's not really how memories work. Memories aren't like assigned by keyword in your brain. It's just about like detecting how old the memory is. Yeah. So when are you looking? What do you want to see?
And Jade is like glancing at Janine. Because it would actually be interesting to know if Hancock and Janine have been talking like between. We know what happened to Janine before. Hancock's and Janine's story from her interrogation match pretty well together.
Oh,
But what lies in between? Have they had any interactions? Did Hancock know about her history with Monderosa?
No, she didn't.
Anything
You learned before. Well, you were told that she didn't tell him anything. But if you want to check if that's true, yeah.
Or if he have been telling her anything.
All right. So you
so
want
like
to basically
any
see.
interaction between her arriving at Good Neighbor and the day
Okay.
Monderosa got killed.
Dr. Amari says, I mean, that sounds like a period of several weeks to cover. That might take some time.
You have just searched for like 10 months.
Yeah, but he told me 10 months ago.
Yeah.
Looking for a specific occurrence in a specific location. And that took me like 10 minutes to find. It's going to take me a lot longer to go through several weeks of any interaction with her that could have taken place. That's going to take a while.
And
usually
I
when
talked to
people
her-
come here, they either want me to make a memory for them, or they have a specific in mind, like a birthday.
Yeah.
They usually have a date, so it doesn't take that long to find what they're looking for. What you're asking for is for me to watch through weeks of memories. That's going to take a while.
They have this conversation, Jade is going to keep an eye on Janine to see if she have any reaction to this.
You don't really notice
proposal.
any reaction from her. She's preoccupied.
Yeah, just leave it with that. That's not more important than that. So
at that point, Dr. Amari says, "Well, I'm going to get him out then."
do that.
Okay. The pod opens. John Hancock's eyes roll back into place. He stands up and just says, first thing, I want to apologise for what you all probably saw. What can I say? I like to practice my sexual liberty.
I didn't know you were that lithe, to be honest.
I think we know more about that than any of us care to at the moment, Mr. Hancock.
Did you see what did you see? It's true. Betsy, it's true. She says, yeah. Alright. I need to talk with my people. Are we okay to go to the third rail and have a drink there? And also, could you get your friend to maybe ease up on the nuclear bomb thing?
We'll talk to him, but first of all, we need to make sure you're all okay.
Yeah, we would really like a blood sample from each of you to test for synthism. New word.
All right. Do what you're gonna do, Doc. Clear us, and then we're gonna go to the third rail. Dr. Amari goes around and pulls a piece of hair off each of the goons. And
I mean, she have shown Jade how to work the instrument, so if she take the samples, Jade can look them over.
You take the samples and you look through, you check them all. No synths. All of the Monofonto goons, Betsy and Frank, are original style human.
Yeah. Well, that's that out of the way, at least. So, yeah. Franco, I suggest that you take Betsy and him in, get a drink, get a talk.
I'll speak to Freddie.
And speak to Freddie on the way out.
All right. So at that point, they leave and they head over to the third rail. Yeah. John Hancock is standing there with you all and just says, if that was a bluff, would it be nice to be informed that was the plan? And if it wasn't, don't tell me it wasn't. Just don't ever tell me it wasn't, because you wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Mr. Hancock, those are real nuclear warheads we carry.
And why didn't you tell me what the plan was?
Sometimes the plan has to be improvised. Look, you go and do what you need to do. I'll speak with Freddie. You don't have to know or not know.
Oh. I'm going to go and make sure that they don't destroy my bar. And he walks off towards the third rail. Dr. Amari has sat down at her desk and is just similarly stunned, but also just says, wait, nukes?
Oh, don't right now, please.
Don't worry about that.
Alright, that's fine.
Jade is going to drop the synth body off. And if no one else needs him, he will stay with her to work on to work with her. He wants to learn about synth.
Oh, you want to... What do you want to do with the synth body, Jade?
Well, I mean, we talked about developing a travel size tester. That was what you needed the body for.
Right, okay.
She asked for... Oh, and we talked about... That's why we brought the whole thing back, because we talked about putting the brain in the memory machine to try and see if there were any information in that.
Okay. Dr. Murray says, "All right. Let's get some flesh then." She pulls out a knife and begins trying to cut off a finger. She doesn't do a very good job, but she does eventually manage to cut through the bone and remove the finger, and then says, "All right, place it in the pod. Let's see what's on the brain."
Yeah, let's do it.
So you and Dr. Amari hook up the body of XPN 20A. She removes the sunglasses and throws them on the floor where they belong, and boots it up. She looks through the brain and says, she looks through the brain on the computer and says, I've only been a few hours dead. I've got a list of memories that I could access. What would you like to see? And let me get my list. You can see the last 4 memories that were set. If you wanted to go back further, it would probably take her a little bit more time. But initially, you've got 4 options. Now, these don't have any keywords or anything, or not even dates or anything, because you don't really have any more information other than these are 4 things that happened within the 24 hours before he died.
Well, let's see it.
Okay. The most recent memory is the last few shots of the fight that ended up killing him. It feels really strange to see the fight from his perspective, especially for you, Jade, because you weren't there. But for the others who were, you've not really seen yourself in combat before, and that feels a bit odd. Going to the second memory, that was from earlier in the day, still at General Atomics, and it's a conversation between him and his brother, and they're talking to each other, just saying, like, "Why do you think they're so ungrateful?" "Well, it's because we took them all prisoner and put them to work. "Yeah, but they know that we're doing this for them, right? They know." The other one says, "I mean, did we tell them?" "I don't think we told them." The other one says, "We didn't tell them this was for them." And the other one says, "Well, yeah, but we didn't tell them why." The other one says, "Oh, should we tell them?" And the first one says, "I don't know, the father said..." "Well, he didn't say not to, but he didn't say to, so we didn't." And that's the end of the memory. The next memory is in Diamond City. And inside the Diamond City, you see some places that are pretty familiar to you. But it's all been a bit changed. There is now, in the centre of town, basically on the field, as it were, in the centre, a massive set of pretty advanced looking machinery that has essentially made a production line. And you can see people sorting through massive piles of junk. You can also see Caitlin, the lady that you rescued from General Atomics, right there right there on the production line, next to who you presume to be her husband, sorting through junk and scanning the junk which you imagine is them testing what kind of materials are there. And at the end of the production line, a number of really junky looking first generation synths are standing there. And various other synths are sort of placing implements into the brain cavity and such, and turning them on, and they are becoming first generation synths. The last memory you can access from the recent 24 hours is this XPN20A with his brother XPN20B sat in front of a monitor, and on the monitor a bearded human looking individual is speaking to him and says, alright, so everyone you send north doesn't come back. Yeah, that seems to be the case, says XPN20A. We've managed to hold them. We've held them at the I-93 bridge. There are attacks there every couple of days, but we're churning through operatives, we're churning through units, we're churning through everything. We need to get more materials, we need more power. The bearded man on the screen says, yeah, the power's not happening. We made some moves with the gunners and that doesn't seem to work out. We've got a communication saying that the power station in Quincy has been destroyed. The gunner we spoke to didn't sound particularly good. I don't think we're going to be hearing from her anymore. But that's my problem. The big thing that we need to sort out now is upping production. We need to take Monofonto, we need to take Good Neighbor. XPN20A says, well, let me see if we can shake down some more supplies. I'll take a bunch of people to the General Atomics factory and see if we can what more we can find. We can basically get another unit or squad or two. Hold things off while we work on our plan to take Monofonto. And the person on the screen, the bearded man on the screen says, okay. XPN20A and XPN20B say, thank you, Father. The man on the screen says, you're welcome, sons. And that's the end of the memory.
Something is very much off here. Does Jade recognize the man?
Oh, no. None of you have seen this man before.
Did the rest stay here? No, Augusta went up to talk to Freddie, right? Did Carl stay
I'm going to say that the only person...
I stayed and watched the memory.
Yeah, okay. So Carl and Jade have watched the memory. Let's cut to Augusta. Augusta, what are you doing?
I'm going upstairs to talk to Freddie. I'm pretty sure I know how this is going to go, but they want me to do it, and someone needs to say something to just calm things down a little bit.
Good luck with that. Yeah, so go for it.
Freddie, how you doing?
Pretty good. I enjoyed that way too much.
I could tell. I'm a little bit worried that maybe we might have gone too hard with them. They are all terrified.
That is a good position to barter from.
It is, but it's hindering things a little bit because it's distracting them.
So?
Okay, can we back down on the nuclear thing for now? I'm not saying never do it ever again, although please don't for a while, because that's very, very hardcore very, very quickly. But if you could just tell them that we won't immediately blow everything up in their only remaining town, I think that might make things easier for now.
Yeah. He leans in closer. It was never going to work anyway, but go ahead and tell him I turned it off.
Mirroring his position and his tone. I know. I've met you before. You're not about to blow up everything within like a 12-mile radius. But they believed you. What the? I don't understand why, but they did.
It got them here talking. That was the biggest thing. They were just...
Yeah. I respect that. It scares the
Um,
crap out of me as an idea, but I respect that.
It was improv right away. Sorry. Don't want to
Okay,
talk
well,
too much,
can
but
can we tell them that we're backing down on this? Just for now.
now
So they
that
can,
they've talked, I'm fine. Just don't
they've
let them
seen the
kill me.
evidence. They seem to believe the evidence. Although now I also know about, I've got many questions about stuff that people do in parties, but that's another time.
That's not normal. I'm not sure what you said, but probably
He-
not normal.
He's very bendy, that guy. Very bendy.
Okay, maybe. Never mind.
This isn't the time.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
All right. No problem. I will take care of Tumu here. We need to get her fed and taken care of and get this off.
And I might take a drink of
honestly,
milk while I'm there.
Mikey might have been a synth, and I'm worried about that.
How much did he have access to? Like, we have to assume that the synths probably know about us at this point. They've attacked us multiple times. We've seen them. They've seen us. People I don't even know are attacking us.
The question I have is, should we maybe negotiate something with them, because they are helping us? Or at least they're preventing whatever up north coming down here.
Are they though, or are they part of it?
Well, if you believe the guy with the board out of his head. But, all right, just let him know things are safe. And here, he take this down, or if you find him, you can take this to him and hands him a bourbon.
Thank you kindly.
I'm sure Betsy will be wanting something. We still need to get some... I would like to find out if Jones was also or not a synth, but everybody seems clear so far.
Yeah, they tested the goons and everyone. They all seem to be,
Yeah.
human.
He didn't know that until you told him, but yeah. All right. I'm going to stay here with Tumu. I don't think it would be a good idea for me to go in the bar if they're drinking.
I can understand that. I can bring you something if you'd like.
Nah, that's fine. We got plenty to eat right here.
Okay.
And they'd probably poison me if they're given a chance.
I wouldn't tell them it's for you. I'm not an idiot.
Oh, thank you. And he will unload we'll unload Tumu and stuff right there and make sure and they're taken care of, since they've been running around with a bunch of stuff on them for a day or two now.
So you go through Tumu and yeah, at this point, you definitely know that there is nothing missing. Whatever else, Mikey J did not take anything from Tumu before he was no longer with you. So yeah, we've got Jade.
What happened to the suit of armor? Just so did Carl wear it all the way back?
That is currently standing sort of on the corner out of where the road met the highway. A little away from General Atomics. It is just standing there at the moment.
Carl...
No, I walked back.
Oh, yes, you did.
It's what happened to it after that is what I was curious about.
I would have left it up there next to Tumu and you. So I don't
so you walked it back
away into the memory den.
Yeah, okay. So you walked it back to Good Neighbor is what I was at. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Carl and Jade in the memory den, watching memories from the synth. Freddie and Augusta are on the street outside of the memory den. Across the road from you is the third rail. What would you all like to do?
Were there more memories for us to watch, or did we watch them all?
You've watched all of the ones available from the last 24 hours. Dr. Amari says, it'll maybe take me some time to go through the rest. I can tell you what, I can leave this as a scan. To scan overnight and map out all the memories that are accessible. It's more effective on a living brain. So we're not necessarily going to be able to get everything, but should be able to get to some good stuff. Come back tomorrow. I'll have more for you then.
Sounds good. Maybe we get lucky that it's a synth brain and it's more durable in death.
Maybe. But yeah, I'll just do that now. She taps on the computer and sets off the scan and then says, and if I'm done, am I done? You need anything else from me tonight?
I don't think so.
Good then. She slams her head down on the desk and immediately falls back asleep.
Trained medical professional.
Tranquilized medical professional.
Yeah.
Trained to sleep on command.
So yeah, at this point, I mean, the only things you know that are going on at the moment are John Hancock and Betsy and the rest of of her goons are in the third rail. But other than that, Good Neighbor is doing Good Neighbor things. Most people don't seem to there's not really that many people around. You notice that a few of the guards and security are looking at each other and talking to you, just like, what's going on? No, John says it's fine. It's going to be fine. Just keep doing what you're doing until told otherwise. Yeah, all right. But just what the hell? But yeah, not many people are around. So, what would you like to do?
Augusta's going to take the bottle of bourbon that Freddie just gave her and take it into the bar, sort of smuggle it in and pass it on to John Hancock and his group and Betsy.
Cool. So, is anybody going with Augusta?
I don't think it would be wise for me, but Freddie is going to look through the suit of armor. He's curious to see if he could find some DNA samples of Mikey. Piece of hair, piece of something. He's bored and busy because he can't go into the bar. So,
okay. I'm going to say it doesn't really need a roll because you know what you're looking for, and it's a suit of Brotherhood of Steel armor, essentially, like a power armor. Well, no, it's power armor.
I mean, I'm a little bit concerned that several of us have been in that power armor and may have left other DNA samples that you could be testing.
I was about to say, you do manage to collect not even a handful, but a bunch of hairs. You don't necessarily know whose hairs are whose. Some are darker than others, but mostly you just collected a random assortment of hair.
okay, as long as there's no short, curly ones, we're fine, and we'll go.
This is in the helmet area, so if there are a certain kind of hair...
Well, Jim was in here.
Oh yes, Jim, it could have been Jim. He could have taken it out
Yeah. We
Just
don't
to
ask
try.
questions. We don't ask questions.
I mean, there's some things I should probably explain about Augusta sometime, but again, this isn't the time.
Yes. But needless to say, if he finds it, he will eventually give it to Jade to walk down or somebody later.
Okay.
I mean,
Hoping that one of them is Mikey's. If not, they can eliminate it with all the people present other than Jim and Mikey who have been in there that we know of.
If it helps, I did say when you met him, but that was ages ago, and it's not really come up since. Stupid Jim is bald. Stupid Jim is a bald man.
that makes that easy. And again, if the other doctor is okay with it, Jade might have asked before she went back to sleep, or just shaken her again. But if it's okay with her, then Jade can borrow her laboratory and check the hairs found for DNA.
At this point,
and
you could probably use that her laboratory. She is out for the count. And at this point, you've already been inside. You kind of know where it is. So at this point, it wouldn't be... you don't think it would necessarily be a problem that you would use her laboratory while she is thoroughly passed out on her desk. So is that what you want to do?
First of all, I can test to see if any of the hair, first of all, is from synth.
Okay.
And then also determine, I mean, now we have just tested every other ones in the group, but otherwise I have samples too, or can get them from our group on who is who.
Okay, so you want to go around and basically test everyone in the group's hair as well and sort of work this out?
I mean, first of all, is there synth? We have all just been tested out, and if I need to like narrow it down before, then I will go around and like get a hair from everyone and say we are trying to find out if Jim left anything. So just to like compare types of hair, if Jake doesn't know the group well enough after having treated them for various injuries.
First thing is she's trying to test if there's a positive and go from there.
Cool. So in that case, Freddie hands you 6 hairs. And you test them all. None of them are synths. None of them are synth hairs.
Okay. And it's 6 different hairs.
Well, that's really hard to tell because there's hairs, individual strands of hair. They could all be from one person, maybe. Or they could be all from 6 different people. You're not entirely sure. Some of them are brown. Some of them... one of them's a lot lighter. One of them's a lot darker. But... okay. Reveal the curtain from this. This is something that I did not account for. I have no idea what colour hair the player characters have. So, essentially what I'm getting to is, no one in your group is a synth. And no synth has been inside this power armor, to the best of your knowledge. That's basically where I'm trying to get to in a narrative way, without knowing the colour of everyone's hair, because it never came up. I never thought about asking that. I should have. This is definitely
forgiven for not asking.
But essentially, yeah, you are Augusta, Carl, and well, the people who have been inside the power armor are Carl, Augusta, I believe Freddie was at one point, and Mikey J, and Stupid Jim. But Stupid Jim is bald, so you're pretty sure that none of the hairs are his. But everybody else who has been in the power armor are not synths.
Yep.
Like, genuinely never thought that this would be something that came up with the power armor. It was something I'd never factored in. So, yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out if there was any synth.
But yeah, you're all good on that angle. So, Carl, are you going with Augusta to the third rail, or are you doing something else?
I'm going to walk the ramparts, essentially, and see how defensible this place is in case of an attack. And if there are any good sniper locations for me to hole up in when that happens.
Okay, for that, gonna go to the Good Neighbor map. I'll just need to change some things around. And there we go. Yeah, reveal area. Booyah. And okay, so the ramparts are pretty... well, they're pretty hefty. Good Neighbor is a settlement that has been here for many decades at this point. And over the years, the actual wall area. There's either buildings or wall that has been constructed connecting various buildings to make the ramparts and various things. And so that looks reasonably okay. Will it stand up to a mini-nuke? No, because not a lot will. Will it stand up to sustained artillery? Possibly for a while. But if people are approaching just with guns, they're probably not going to get in. But you do notice walking around that there is not that many people walking them. The security team of Good Neighbor there's not that many of them, especially when compared to the numbers that Monofonto Towers have. There was a couple of hundred people in Monofonto who were all being armed up by Zeb, the friendly neighborhood gun-running mutant. And these are people carrying like regular standard arms, combat rifles, hunting rifles. You see one person there with a couple of pistols. But yeah, the defenses are... They could hold off a raider attack. Whether they could hold off Institute in numbers or Monofonto, certainly not. Not for any long-term siege or anything.
And then presumably they couldn't hold off the Brotherhood of Steel either.
Absolutely not. The Brotherhood of Steel, if they came in numbers, would definitely roll over Good Neighbor in a number of hours at most. Like a month ago, Good Neighbor would be considered to be well protected. That is no longer the case in the context of what is going on right now.
Okay.
So we'll go to Augusta. You go down the stairs deep into the third rail, and you see... need a note. Where is it? There it is. You see Dignam, the ghoul bartender, is standing at the bar looking quite freaked out. John Hancock is sat with his lieutenant, having a drink at the bar, and in the corner there's Betsy and Frank and the rest of her goons sat there having a drink, and singing a song in the corner is Magnolia, doing a slow jazz number. She does not look at all freaked out. She is just doing her thing. Augusta, what would you like to do?
Augusta comes into the bar trying to sort of mask, like just keep her body between the bottle that she's carrying and the people at the bar who might object to her coming in with a bottle that's not from the actual bar, and take it over to Betsy and John Hancock.
Betsy and John are sat... John is sat at the
Oh,
bar.
they're not.
Betsy is sat in
no,
the
near
corner.
each other. We're going to the corner then because the bar's too obvious.
Frank stands, hand resting on his pistol, and says, "So is it off?"
It's off.
All right. Okay. Give us a few minutes. We're still talking.
I understand. I brought offering to try and help smooth things over a little bit, and just put the bottle on the table.
He does a bit of a smile and says, "Yeah, I actually appreciate that. Thank you. That's very kind of you, I think. Can I have a word with you?"
You can have several words.
All right. He takes you over to a corner away from, more closer to Magnolia, but away from where Betsy is, and says, "You didn't know he was going to do that, did you?"
He's a bit less predictable than I had expected.
All right, well, I can understand why he did what he did. Betsy probably shouldn't have handled things the way that she did with you. At the time,
Quite.
with what we knew, it made sense, but at the same time, I can see that we pushed him into doing that in a certain way, but also, for his own physical safety, it is best that he stays the fuck away from us for now, and possibly forever.
I'll pass that on.
Good.
To his credit, it did work.
Yeah. I guess it did. Okay.
I'm not going to stay and trouble you, but do what you need to do. Enjoy the bourbon.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Augusta. I really do. And he goes back to join Betsy. John Hancock has seen you do that, and he says, "Hey, go over here."
Here we go again. John, hello.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. You're all welcome to stay in the State House if you need a break. If you don't hear anything from me, I'm going to meet you tomorrow morning. We're going to have a very, very serious talk about the way you do things. But looks like you ended the war before it started. For that, you have my thanks.
I mean, it was the group, it wasn't me, but we don't all work individually, do we?
That is true, but maybe you do deserve to be on t-shirts.
No, we did not, but thank you for your vote of confidence.
I owe you some money.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. Tonight, let's enjoy life, for the delight of love is fleeting.
Fair enough. And, yeah, tell Freddie. Tell Freddie to stay the hell away from me.
I think Freddie knows, but I will mention to him, certainly.
Alright, dig them. More. The ghoul bartender says, "More what?" John Hancock just slams the desk. "More!" Digman just goes off and brings back several bottles. As you take your leave, you see John Hancock just pouring into the same glass a bit from all of them. And take a massive drink.
And Augusta just kind of gives him as she leaves.
Alright, so you now have a place to stay, and it's getting pretty late. This has been a pretty intense day. You're all pretty tired. Of course, Good Neighbor is entirely open to you. You can do whatever you want, but yeah, you stay up much longer, you are risking a level of exhaustion.
Considering we are not synths, we should probably sleep and recover our hit points.
It has been a heck of a day.
Freddie, you
Freddie's-
still have a head injury, according to my notes, that you can roll
Yep.
on. Maybe with Joe's assistance to try and get rid of that.
Freddie is going to sleep with Tumu just for the sake of somebody friendly to be nearby. So, and hoping that nobody will be able to sneak in with two heads. One will always be awake on the Brahmin.
Yeah, that's smart. So you're going to take Tumu into the State House, or you're going to leave Tumu outside and sleep outside?
Oh, if he can take him in the State House, definitely. That sounds perfect.
Okay. You walk into the State House with Tumu. There's not that many stairs to get up, so Tumu struggles a little bit, but you can get Tumu into there. As you walk in, you can see that there is a lot of sleeping people. I think the technical term for what you are seeing is a pile of junkies, essentially. These are people who are living hard, living the good neighbor life, and as is their custom, they have fallen asleep in a big pile on top of each other in the center of the room.
I will pick a corner far from the center of the room. I will not shine a UV light on anything, and lay out a cloth for Timu to lay on, and me also.
All right, so essentially you establish a camp. You establish a camp in the corner of the room. And I'm going to assume you establish a camp for everybody in the group.
They're free to come and sleep over there, but wherever otherwise. But yeah, he'll set up a corner there with Timu and all this stuff. And go to sleep. He's tired.
All right.
Anyone else having injuries?
If Jade shows up, he will take the healing from them. But sleep is important right now.
According to my notes, the only person who has an injury is Freddie. There were some injuries going around in the fight, but that was that particular attack only hit NPCs. There was a bunch of broken arms, but none of them were yours, according to my notes. If I've got that wrong and you want to be honest, feel free to do so. If you want to lie and get away with it, you probably will, because I'm just going off notes based on a session from weeks ago, and I might have got that wrong, and you could totally get away with it. So this is definitely...
Augusta doesn't have any injuries, but she's got 12 HP out of a possible 17.
My injury was healed, but if I took another blow to it, it would automatically go back.
Yeah, so the way this works...
Everyone broke an arm and got that healed by stim pack.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
the only lasting injury I've got is Freddie's head injury, which means that if he got hit in the head again, it would open up and bad things would happen. You can try and make an attempt to get rid of it entirely tonight. Let me just get... I've got my sheet that goes for all of this. My screen, there it is. Skill rolls, action points, combat, weapon qualities, healing. Here we go. To rest away injuries is an endurance survival test. The difficulty varies based on the previous day's activity. The complication range from this roll increases 1+1 per injury that has not been treated. So that means today you have been in several fights, but you've not traveled that far. So this is going to be a difficulty 3. So this is a... And this is a treated injury, so it doesn't go up anymore. So it is a difficulty 3 endurance survival test that Freddie needs to make. But with Jade's assistance, that can be improved. So what kind of assistance are you going to offer, Jade?
I mean, isn't there, since I have that doctor's bag that gives... Oh, come on. Just a moment. It lowers the difficulty and... Let's see. Reduces the difficulty of a medicine test by 1 minimum 0 when providing long-term care. Allows care of up to 2 additional patients. So there must be some standard medicine roll for that.
Yeah, so that would lower the difficulty to 2 for Freddie to recover.
I have to roll or she rolls? I thought she rolled medical.
I roll medical to provide long-term care.
Okay. So medicines... God, it's been so long. It's all falling out my brain. Not good. Not good. Recovery from rads. Long-term injury.
Take your time. I just know she can make the medicine rolls to heal. It's better than me trying to make any medicine roll.
Well, yeah, this is if you're not being treated. If you're being treated, then I think this is intelligence medicine. With a difficulty of 2. Now, thanks to your doctor's bag.
And that's...
And because
Your
of...
jacket allows you to re-roll one?
Yeah.
Booyah!
And that is a double since my medicine is 4. So that's 3.
Yeah, so
Overall.
your maximum hit action points already. You've got 7 out of 7. So earlier on, when treating his injury, you used a bunch of glue, random glue you had in your personal health kit. It's not in your inventory, but it's just there because Jade's a doctor, and that's something he would have. And that seems to have worked. That has stuck together. The wound is very sealed. You slather on some various creams and lotions and other stuff to prevent dry skin, but yeah, essentially you have treated his wound. He's going to be okay. He could take a hit in the head now and probably be kind of okay, unless it was like a bullet or a rocket. But yeah, you did a good job. So you all bunker down, I'm assuming, and sleep. You are woken in the middle of the night when John Hancock returns. He walks in and says, "Someone needs to do the job." And a woman from the junkie pile stands up and sighs, just says, "All right, let's go." And they both walk upstairs. And you all go back to sleep. And the next day you wake up and the junkie pile is gone. All of the other people seem to have woken up a lot earlier than you did and have gone on about their day, whatever it is they do. You are in the State House ground floor area alone. What would you like to do?
I think that since we're about 10 minutes from our usual stop time, this is a good point to end for the night.
All right. Well, let's do one last thing, because I do have one last thing to end the session with, if that's okay. It will take less than 10 minutes. But it depends very much on what you do and where you go.
Well, Freddie gets up. What are we doing today? I sure the hell can't hang out here very much longer. What are they going to do when they find out I never turned them off?
I don't want to hang around here for too long if they're going to. If John goes through that many junkies in one evening, look, they're all gone.
Different addictions, I guess. I will take Tumo outside I'll let him do the business right here. Why not? And then take him outside for some grass to eat and some other grains to feed. And reload Tumo back up to get ready for the next day.
All right. As you
what do I see when I get outside?
When you walk out, you see that Good Neighbor is alive. The people that were made up the junkie pile are just getting on with their day. Some of them have gone to work. Some of them are working at Cafe Beatrix. Others you can see are sort of helping out Dr. Malibu's mind healers / benders get ready for the day. Some of the people in the junkie pile you see are actually manning the walls, manning the ramparts. Whatever you think of them when you first saw the junkie pile, these people are productive during daylight hours, it would seem. In the middle of the street, you can see Betsy and John Hancock are talking to each other, and they both glare at you.
I tip my hat at them and say good morning. I'm glad to see you guys are getting along so well. And then I go back to Tumo.
If anything, their hatred for you has bonded them in that moment. Their relationship is now stronger as a result of seeing you. So, well done. John Hancock then moves off and walks into the State House and says to the rest of you, "So we got a plan. But I was talking to Betsy and she told me that She's on board with this plan, but she needs something.
Of course she does.
She does not get my head.
Jade will inform, I guess, everyone about the memories from the synth that we got yesterday. And from my understanding, since the man mentioned the Gunners and Quincy, this might point to the Institute. Correct?
Yeah. I mean, what do you mean?
What was that? The again, it have been a month
Yeah.
since we played last. Was that the like?
Synths are the Institute,
Yeah.
just to
Okay.
clarify.
Okay. Well then, so at least that now we have confirmation, because we were a bit baffled about what the Institute wanted with Quincy or the power or whatever. So now we have more to confirm that, at least.
I'm more intrigued on this father figure. So there is
Yeah.
a leader.
I've heard about rumors of there being a father of the Institute. I guess that's him. I don't know what to tell you. But here's what we need.
I want to know more about how these synths think that what they're doing is for our benefit, and they're enslaving people, but not telling them why they are being. Something does not add up there.
Well, I wonder if he is deceiving his synth too, maybe.
Well, it
That's
seems like they
possible.
knew, they just didn't communicate. I mean, if they did it knowingly or unknowingly, they failed to communicate it.
That's fair.
If what you told us is true, and I'm going by the memory from a few minutes ago, and that's my age, that's easily forgotten. So.
Well, that's something that can be dealt with. The general plan me and Betsy have had is we need to persuade her people to join up with us, and we're going to take back Diamond City. Because
Good luck with that.
We're going to need all of these people if we're going to go up north and deal with whatever is brewing there. We need everyone. But before we can do that, we need to show the people of Monofonto the Constitution that we were working on with Monderosa's signature on it.
So you want us to head over to that library and get it for you?
Yes. I'd send my people or go myself, but last time I went wasn't a few days ago. I went there to try and collect this stuff, because a part of my plan was to, at some point, try and present this and end the war. But when I got there, the only thing I heard from inside was screams. I couldn't spare anyone from the wall to help me go in and get it.
Not the kind of good screams, I assume.
No, I know good screams. These weren't the good screams.
Gotcha.
How is this our problem? We got our own things to do. What are you going to give us this time?
It's everyone's problem, Freddie. It's everyone's problem. We've got the Institute here enslaving people. They want to take Good Neighbor. They want to take Monofonto. And they want to take... and they are currently trying to stop some kind of horrific robot uprising in the north. How are you going to find whatever it is you're looking for if everyone and everything is dead and been turned into a weird cyborg thing?
Well, how are you going to stop them? And the Institute is failing.
That may be true. But I'd rather go down standing up than being a slave. Our only shot.
I'd rather find what we came for and leave. But that's my own personal.
All right. I'm not talking to you anymore, Freddie. And he turns to the rest of you and says, here's what I will do. You tell me what it is you're looking for. And after you get the Constitution, and after we take back Diamond City, I will then commit any resources I can in helping you find what you're looking for. Fair? Because then not only do you get to survive everything, you also hopefully get what you want.
I mean, what we wanted was in the service of surviving everything. We wouldn't have come here if we didn't need the thing that we've come here for. We didn't come here to go, I know what we'll do today. We'll go and mess up 2 towns. 3 towns.
What is it you're looking for?
A specific circuit board that was manufactured by them.
By who?
The well, they were working together at the time, so both the Atomics group and the I've forgotten the name of the people that made
Vault-Tec.
Thank you, Vault-Tec.
Well, in that case, you're going to need to help us take away this threat, because the only place I know that may even remotely have that is Vault-Tec head office, which is north, across the bridges that are no longer there.
Yeah, because someone blew them up.
To stop. You know why.
I know why, but there's other ways. Anyway,
all right,
if
you get the Constitution, we will help you get to the Vault-Tec head office where you can find whatever it is you're looking for. Agreed?
I want to form a huddle with the others because I don't want to agree to this without checking with them.
And that seems like a good place to leave it because it is 9 o'clock. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll cut back in next week when that is a thing. Yeah, have a good night.
Sorry, I couldn't remember the name of the company. All that was coming to my head was Pentex.
It's fine.
Very much the wrong company.
There's a lot of companies, a lot of names, and a lot of things, so don't worry about it. Consider that one on the... I don't know what the name is. But yeah, we got to go because it is 9 o'clock. Thanks for playing, everyone. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.